Today I'm going to do something I've been wanting to do for quite a while, and that is do time trials on the e-bike. So I just finished a month of testing the RKT9 and the Transition Spur. So I'm going to do those same two sections today. Now, these two sections I've done 8 times over the past month with this testing that I just wrapped up. And I'll drop that video in the description below if you want to check that out. So I have a pretty good idea of what my lap times are on a traditional bike. Now, the section that I'm coming up to right now, section 1, my fastest time over this past month of testing was 14 minutes. So we're gonna see what it's like on the e-bike. Now, obviously the motor on the e-bike is gonna allow me to get up the hills faster, but what about the tight turns? So there's a lot of turns on the courses that I'll be doing today. Rolling up to the first section, we're not gonna mess around with eco or tour mode. Not even EMTB. We're gonna go right to turbo for this because I wanna go as fast as I can on this e-bike. I'm gonna do 2 stopwatches here just in case. This is also a Strava segment, but I'm not gonna set this as a normal ride. All right, there's one. There's the other. Now this section, I'm pretty fast on my regular bike. Like I feel like I'm held back right now by the motor. This motor tops out about 18, 19 miles an hour. They say 20, but I think it's more like 18. This is where, these little uphills, this is where I know I'll be faster on the e-bike. I'm also gonna track my heart rate. See how much less effort it takes on the e-bike. Normally my average heart rate on this thing is about 165. See, these little downhills, I can feel the motor stop engaging and the bike's not as fast. But then you get to these sections where you come out of a corner and then you can feel the motor really give you a lot of power. And also, I normally wouldn't be talking during a time trial. Usually by right about here, I'm breathing hard and my heart rate's getting up to about 170, 175. Yeah, I still feel like this bike, you know, I'm held back a little bit by the maneuverability. Especially my cross-country bike. It's got a 70-degree head angle and it's just so maneuverable on these tight trails. But you know I make up a lot of time on the uphills. Like right here is a little short one. But you know, it's not like those trails where you just got an uphill where you can go straight up. I mean, I've still got to make these turns, so it's not giving me as much of an advantage as if the trail were straight. All right, so just finished section 1. Like I said earlier, my best time on that section was 14. So I had a 13:23. So not like crazy fast, but the remarkable thing is the amount of effort that I had to put into that. So I would say that my heart rate, I don't know if it was tracking my heart rate right. If it was, I'll put it on the screen, but it didn't seem like it was tracking it right. But I would say my heart rate was probably like around 130, 140, whereas normally it would be like 170, 175. So faster time and much less effort. So I'm gonna head out now on section 2, and this is the section where I have more hills, and the hills are steeper, a little bit longer. My fastest time in like recent history has been 12:18, and so we're going to see how the e-bike compares to that with all the hills. All right, here we go, section 2. Getting a lot of leaves on the trail now, so I'm really glad I have these beefier tires on this bike. Try not to skid on this bike, because with the beefy tires and the weight of this bike, I could really damage the trail. So trying my best not to ever skid on this e-bike. Starting off a little downhill where I know I'd be faster on my cross-country bike because of all the little tight turns here. But after this, we'll start up a hill, and that's where the e-bike will take over. Yeah, even some of these trails, like on my cross-country bike, I don't mind just skipping the tire out a little bit, because it's so light. I mean, I'm not doing much or any damage to the trail in that application. All right, so on an uphill, but still got a lot of turns, so can't just blast up these uphills. So this is a hill where normally my heart rate is about 170 to 180. Right now I'm pushing as hard as I can. The e-bike's just taking over. Heart rate 134. So drastically less effort. There's no way I could be talking right now on my regular bike on a time trial on this section. Heart rate 129. So you have to be careful with this turbo mode, because it keeps going like a split second after you stop pedaling. And so you can like almost go into a tree if you're cornering, like pedaling to the last split second that you normally do. All right, I'm on the final hill of section 2 here. And again, this is a place where my heart rate would be 170, 180. It maxed out at 181 over my past month of testing. And right now my heart rate's 126. And I just got up that a lot faster. So on section 2 on the e-bike, I had a 10:54 versus my fastest time on the regular bike of 12:18. So it was a minute 24 seconds faster on the e-bike with a remarkably less effort. Like my heart rate maxed out, I think around 130, maybe 135. And it just seemed like no effort at all on the e-bike. So again, that's the story for me on the e-bike, is just faster with a lot less effort. So that's my kind of time trial for these kind of just rolling trails. We're not in the mountains, we're just rolling on these hills with a lot of tight corners. Now, if you were going like on mountain trails where you know, the trails weren't that tight and twisty and you were just going up and then bombing down, the difference in the times would be staggering between an e-bike and a regular bike. Like I said in that one video that Dawson and I made discussing e-bikes, if you saw that one, he got up a climb that normally takes me like 20 minutes. He got up in like 3 minutes. So just crazy difference. So anyway, I don't know if this video is of any value for you. I had fun doing it just to kind of see how much faster the e-bike would be on my local trails. As far as a fun factor, you know, listen, I love riding my cross-country bike on these trails. It is so nimble, agile, flickable, and fast. But the e-bike is fun just because every section is fast, not just the downhills or the straightaways. So hope you enjoyed this video. Any questions or comments, or have you ever done a time trial like this on an e-bike? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.